Dear Anarcho Agony Aunts, 31 cis-het-ish guy. You have often mentioned the role of confidence as in finding someone attractive.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, as someone with a specific learning difficulty, dyspraxia, which makes sequencing my thoughts very difficult, especially under stress, which makes performing confidence when meeting a stranger in a dating context extremely difficult, and you should see me in an interview. Though with people I know at least a little bit, I'm confident and outgoing. Is there any way you reckon to cope with this lack of competence? Or a way of explaining my disability that doesn't sound like I'm amazing just most days, just not when we're on a specific date? Also in conjunction with this, I want to ask your opinions on the creep factor. Though rare sometimes in dating and other contexts, I meet cis-women who are wary or anxious of me off the bats. I myself get incredibly anxious when I see someone else anxious due to me, which often exacerbates the problem and becomes a dyspraxic mess. It deeply affects my self-esteem, making me feel both monstrous and being incredibly anxious. That's how others will judge me.
Monstrous.
Me feel both monstrous and being incredibly anxious. That's how others will judge me. Again, any tips how to cope with this would be much appreciated. I hope you're having great smokes and passable boozing. What's passable?
If you want us to have better boozing, buy us better booze.
Someone was gonna, but then I didn't want to.
It's like weirdly fancy.
Seriously,
alcohol, right?
but then I was gonna like not give our delivery address and kind of went all haywire. Oh, will you say it?
No, because maybe I shouldn't.
Is this okay?
Yeah, your lipstick looks fabulous.
I don't know. I feel like I fucked it up. Does not that?
It is a little bit drippy there. We're gonna just like.
Yeah.
It's like it's fine. It's alright. It's fine. I think it's fine for the camera. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
You see now, we really don't make cuts because like I'm even putting this here.
We only make cuts when I need to pee or Mariam needs to check the camera. Not because we. Any other reason?
No.
Even though
which is for our own.
Yeah.
You know, for our own.
For better or worse.
Yeah. Downfall or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we had that one bit where we had to bleep out me saying that thing.
Yes.
That was quite funny.
Yeah. We bleeped it out. That was fun. That was rad as well.
And you look weird.
Made us look, well, which we are, proper hardcore.
Yeah, proper hardcore. Okay, really great question. Dyspraxia we haven't dealt with specifically. We have dealt a lot with social awkwardness, and you said you've seen our videos about confidence. So, okay.
Yeah, no, I just wonder, like, I wonder how much you're attributing dyspraxia to just, like, general social anxiety and stuff. I mean, I understand that there are things that come with it, of course, but like, I know it seems to me like they're just general confidence issues, which, yes?
So the dyspraxia thing specifically, I would attribute to as in I recognise the way in which this person, I think he phrased this, does remind me of a particular friend of ours who has exactly the same problem with sequencing thoughts, and therefore coming across a bit garbled. I'm trying to like
I imagine
who it is.
Yeah, I think so.
And so I do think that is a specific thing, like the idea of like you are not able to think of thoughts, you say kind of this, and then you jump here, 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 and it like that can be quite a thing. So I would say that is slightly different to other ones we've talked about because of the specificity of dyspraxia, but
this is so interesting because and I don't know, like. Because the reason why I'm saying this, I suppose, is because I know someone with dyspraxia, and it manifests in a more physical way, I suppose, and that's why I kind of belittled it a little bit in my head. Again, we don't discuss this in advance, so this is.
I actually thought so too until I read the question and thought, oh my god, that reminds me so much of X, who I know also has dyspraxia, and I was like, fuck, is that a dyspraxia thing? Because I always thought dyspraxia was not being able to like catch a ball or something.
Yeah, or like falling over.
I didn't realise that dyspraxia was also this like mind verbal thing.
Yeah.
But it does really map onto this person who also has dyspraxia.
Gotcha.
But
like, look, that will always be with you. And also, if it's the same person that I'm thinking about, and definitely my person, all my days do they get all the hookups. Well, like my person, definitely. Your person gets
a hookup.
A hookup. Exactly. That's good.
Yeah, we're on the same boat.
Exactly. A fucking awesome hookup. And so, and the one that I know, like, all my days do they get some and stuff. So So I don't think that this particular, I don't even want to call it condition, it's a spectrum of the way that the mind works.
Yeah, and your particular way your mind works.
Yes, that does not negate you having partners and the rest, So I don't want for you to get in your head that that's something that will stop you.
Again, I feel like it's similar to a lot of our questions in that a lot of people keep framing things as like, in a first date, this. And I'm like, a first date doesn't have to be a first date. Like, getting to know someone can be a gradual process. With the person I'm thinking of, I spent like 3 days with them doing a different activity that we were both doing together.
Oh, that's nice.
And they got used to like being around me, and then we ended up like dating for a while. Right? Like, And
in my case, they just wore incredibly fitting clothes. But like really well styled clothes, so I was just dumbly attracted to them.
Right. But my point is like, you don't have to worry about like, oh my god, on a first date, how do I tell them that I'll get you on a second date?
This is not what defines
like,
you, basically.
No, I mean just more that like, you don't have to put all this energy into like the first date scenario. Like, if you want to date someone but you recognize that you might come across badly when you don't know that, badly, like you might come across in a way that you don't like when you don't know them and you feel confident, lack of confidence and a bit of like shakiness, invite this person who you fancy to something where there's a topic to talk about, like to a gig or to something with a
gallery,
group of friends, something where there is a theme, so that you don't have to worry about
other
yourself.
Activities.
Yeah, well, other activities. You have to worry about it always being about you and your ability to articulate yourself, because you've already said this is not something that happens all the time. It's just when you're particularly nervous with someone, and so negate that by like, fucking hell, I don't want to go on a date where it's just me and a stranger sitting across each other on a table trying to make conversation, and I don't have dyspraxia. That would be fucking daunting.
Yeah, and I try to
overcompensate.
Yeah, and I find myself like overcompensating with all the, like, I hate silence, so I just continue talking.
Yeah.
So, and that's, again, I'm thick of some sorts and stuff, like, and
But take that out of it. Go to a football game. Go to a gallery. You go to somewhere where it's not all about your ability to kind of construct sentences in a linear way.
Yeah, you can just react to things that are happening around you.
Right. Go to a comedy show. Like, and also go for more than one date, and don't feel like you need to put all of your like charisma eggs in the first basket, because like people like
I just worry, again, like, people define themselves by this, like, because that's what's happening a lot with these questions. People go like, I have X, or I'm experiencing X, hence that will do all of these other things to be bad, like, people don't necessarily have X or whatever, or they have, like, I don't know, and still awkwardness occurs, and still terrible dates occur, and still, like, it's not like people that don't have this are capable of like, always having the best time, like,
and they're just putting a lot of emphasis on the first date going badly or well because of their thing.
Yeah, and it's a self-perpetuating cycle.
Yeah.
Because then you become nervous, and I guess it's only underlines the crisis that we have with we're talking about these issues, because it's just. I suppose people that have like an X, I mean, I don't know, like, it's me defining it badly or whatever, think that they are somehow abnormal, and then the normal people have it all smoothly. Like, no.
No one has it smoothly. Most of us will,
we will pretend. I know I will pretend.
But say we're doing something like Tinder, most of the time I will not get the second dates I want, and most of the time the people I'm seeing will not get the second dates they want.
Yeah.
And you just have to accept that most of the time you will not get the second date you want, but some of the time you will. And the second date is so much more chill than the first date, and like, so many of these questions are hinged on the first date, and like showing your best self, and like doing the best sex and the best kiss and the best this, and like,
God, the amount of times, I knew I was my perfect self, and I was sexy, and I was funny, and I was, interesting, and kind, and fucking all of those things, and I leave there thinking, like, I fucking own it, and then they never call,
Yeah.
So all of these things can happen, so don't necessarily think that, like, even if you will have bad experience, because my worst fear, I suppose, is that, like, God forbid, like, they do everything that's been told to them, and then something bad happens, and they will think that it's because of the ex,
But that happens to all of us. Like you say, I've been the best person fucking in the world, and I still haven't got a call back. Like, there is no way of doing that. The thing I would just say to most of the people, including you, is like, you have to take things slow and give people a chance to get to know you, and not worry about, like, I did this awful thing once. Not awful, that's a bit dramatic, but I did a very cringy thing. where I was joining a new master's program. And I really wanted everyone to know that I was like a cool radical feminist in advance, so that all the cool radical feminists would come and join with me. So I made this like really cringy status in a new Facebook group that all of us people that hadn't met yet had joined, being like, hey, essentially, hey, I'm a cool radical feminist who wants to live with me. No one replied. I went to the first drinking session with them all, and they were like, you seem cool. I'm surprised because you seemed like a proper fucking weirdo in that message. And they were like, I'm a feminist, I wasn't gonna like do that. And like basically they made me realise that I was coming on too strong by like trying to show all the best of myself.
That's my queer life.
Yeah, but I hadn't got to know them, you know, I hadn't been able to gradually introduce them to the aspects of me. And then like, you know, we were on this course for 2 years and I made some like really wonderful friends and some lovers and some things, and they all still like make these jokes. One of my friends from that course calls me femme as a shorthand for feminist, from how much she mocked me for doing that incredibly cringy thing when we first met. And of course half of them are feminists, but the point is I tried to put all my eggs on the table. Is that a metaphor?
In the basket?
In the basket,
No.
my cards on the table. All my eggs were on the table in this first interaction, and it like scared people off. Whereas in fact the process of getting to know them gradually showed that like they too are feminists, shockingly, and like we have stuff in common and we can bond. But it has to be gradual, especially if you're nervous and awkward like me and apparently like you.
Okay, so something specific in terms of, I guess, more practical advice, which is, I mean, this yes, but like, I think when I think of your person and my person, something that I guess lack in them perhaps a little bit, asking questions. Ask questions.
Yes.
Ask questions. And
absolutely.
That, even if that has to become part of your like performance per se, just have 5 questions in your head or something that you can just ask, you know, and make them feel listened. Because I think what tends to happen is that like, and I do this as well, like I tend to like as I say, silence like deafens me, and like I feel like I always need to like say something more interesting because the last thing wasn't as interesting, so I over talk or something. But to be fair, I ask questions as well, but like
no, but that is so true.
Yes,
like
yes.
my grandma is the most charismatic person I know, and she's like fairly right wing. She reads the Daily Mail. She's not that great, but she every time she gets a train down to Cornwall, which is about 8 hours, she'll be like, I met the most wonderful people on the train. And you know why? Because she's next to someone and badgers them with questions. I'm not saying do that, but asking questions makes someone feel heard, and someone will leave a date being like, wow, I could be really open with this person.
Yes.
Nobody cares if, oh wow, they could be really open with me. No. People want to feel like they were able to emotionally relinquish. That is because you're so important and so not a thing that both our people do. I don't know who yours is, but mine definitely does not do.
Which you're probably massively interested in that person. It just doesn't show up in that particular instance, you know, and that's just something to be aware.
Yeah, because nerves make us talk about ourselves. Like nerves make me talk about myself.
Yes, yeah.
But actually, yeah, most people get off on talking about themselves, it turns out, and like giving them a space to do that is the best way of A, not having to over talk and therefore getting your sentences muddled, but B, making them feel valued.
And then you can think about what you're gonna say next when the other person is talking.
Yeah.
Well, obviously listen.
Yeah, obviously listen, but also think of another question to follow up on that.
Yeah,
one. Like,
follow up.
Yeah, things in your life that relate to what they've just said.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you were so on it with the like proper practical advice and like, here's the theory.
That's
and you're like,
incorrect.
fact here.
No, I think we're very
do.
no incorrect in a lot of the other questions. You were definitely doing that. I would just not point out. But
I'm just like really particularly impressed.
Thank
I'm always
you.
impressed with you, but I'm particularly impressed.
I see you. You see, that's the relationship that we have. And today I celebrate that.
Happy Valentine's Day.